What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mario Zilla, or you could call me Vinny, and today we will be taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts New York Comic-Con 2022 event exclusive Marvel Rise of Ultraman, Ultraman. Not every day Ultraman gets any North American exclusive figures, and wouldn't you know it, it's based on the appearance he had in Marvel Comics, who is due to cross over with other Marvel heroes pretty soon. So when this was announced, folks were excited, and not exactly thrilled either. This uses the same mold as the Figuarts 50th Anniversary Edition Figuarts Ultraman. The figure that started the Figuarts Ultraman line, by the way. So this Ultraman figure already has problems. Sculpt is fine, and paintwork is certainly nice from a distance. The blue highlights and blending look gorgeous, but in my opinion, it's not enough, since certain shots you can easily confuse this for the regular 50th anniversary version of Ultraman. The line work is sloppy, admittedly not a problem when looking from afar, but definitely a problem when looking up close, even decently up close, but still. This was a problem on the anniversary Ultraman figure as well, and it's still a problem here. The best part of the figure? The underarms. Why? Look at how the blue was applied, looking great. If this was applied all over the rest of the figure, it would have looked a lot nicer, instead of looking like an amateur custom. I know I'm being harsh, but this was an exclusive figure for $60 MSRP. I expected a lot better, and repeating mistakes from the original version of this figure is unacceptable. Clearly, this was rushed to reach NYCC. Overall, this is a very mediocre look and looks like a collector's first custom.
Ultraman's articulation is a little bit weird. Engineering, even at the time when this mold was first used from the 50th anniversary Figuarts Ultraman, it could have been better. Just saying it right now, it could have been better. So articulation is not going to be much better on this because they did nothing to change the engineering, did not give it any updates or upgrades, none of that. So we'll go over it. Head is on a swivel hinge, so he can look just about this high up. Can look this far down, which is not very far at all. Can rotate. And neck is on a ball joint, so he can lean and just rock around. Diaphragm joint is right here. And waist joint is right here, so he can crunch forward just about this far, which is not very far. And he can crunch backward about this far, which is decent. And of course, he can lean side to side and twist. Swivel hinged ball joints for the shoulders because there's a ball joint that plugs into the chest, but the rest of it is a swivel hinge. So it can hinge about this high up, and the bicep swivel is in the shoulder itself, and on any Figuarts figure, I hate this, and I'm glad they ditched this for other Figuarts Ultraman figures. I hate it. Double hinged elbows. He can move just a little bit more than 90 degrees, so it's nothing special. Ball hinged wrists. Legs can kick forward just about this far, kick backward just about this far, which is not very far at all. And can he do the splits? Not really. But he can move them decently far, so I guess that's something. Thighs can swivel. Knees are double hinges, so it can bend just about this far. Unfortunately, on this one, the legs are pretty loose. And that was a problem with the original figure as well, so if you're going to pose them and put them in a nice display, assuming you're not doing toy photography, you should probably make sure that you have a Tamashii stage handy. Ankles are on swivel hinges, so he can kick his feet about this far back and this far forward. And you get ankle rocker. And because the peg is plugged into the ankle vertically, you can also twist it, just in case you need to make any adjustments. And toes are on a hinge. So, articulation is, to be blunt, nothing special. They did not update this again. I know it's only a repaint, but some repaints have had updates in the articulation engineering. Monster Art Super Mecha Godzilla. So, like, what happened here? Articulation is fine for what it is, but that doesn't mean it's really all that good either, so. Yeah. And this came out right around when the Shinkachou Saihao Classic Ultraman released, and that had miles better articulation than this, so oops.
Don't get too excited about accessories, he has no effects, not even buildings. I'm aware that you can give him accessories from the 50th anniversary release, but they seriously couldn't have given us the Spacium Beam. So for the hands, he has the standard fist hands that were on him in the package. Next up is the karate chop hands, and finally splayed out open hands. That's it. Nothing else for the hands, surprisingly. And last but not least, the color timer. It's red, like it should be. I'd be very concerned if they did mess it up. It's standard. What to be expected. Switching to color timers is tricky without fingernails, but just slowly work it out and eventually it'll pop out and you can replace the color timer with no issue. Disappointing package. I am not impressed with this at all, period. The thing is, I wouldn't be this mad if the MSRP was cheaper, but no, it was $60. 60! Ultraman is a standard-sized figure. I'd be worried if he wasn't. He scales well with other Ultra Kaiju and other Ultramen and can even go toe-to-toe with Godzilla friends no problem. So sizing for him, again, is standard. Not an issue. I won't sugarcoat it, don't buy this. The aftermarket price is high because it's an exclusive figure. Still, don't buy this. Even if you find it for MSRP, don't buy this. This figure is barely worth $45. Ridiculous. But the rise for Ultimate Marvel Comics, that's why you can get it. Even for the novelty, it's not worth it. Even if you're a diehard fan of Ultraman and Marvel, it's not worth it. If you have the 50th anniversary Ultraman figure, it's definitely not worth it, because what's the difference besides the mediocre blue highlights? It's especially not worth it since during NYCC, they even put the S.H.Figuarts Ultraman released for sale at the same time, which is miles better than this figure on all departments. The same version of Ultraman, but better everything. They released both at the same time and caused this figure to compete with its other and better Figuarts. This figure is a giant epic fail! 2.5 out of 10. Stay away from this figure and buy the SS version instead.